What's going on, Maz Gang?
Hey guys.
I'm Nate. What's going on, Maz Gang?
Hey guys.
My name is Brian,
And I'm Alec.
and we are Meetthemazelins.
Yes, so today we are here to talk about our Virgin Voyages cruise experience. You would have seen a few weeks ago that we debuted our honeymoon vlog, which we spent on the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. So today we're going to be telling you all the things in detail, honest review, the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, if there was any ugly, but we're gonna get into all of that. But first off, let me hear from you what your experience with cruises are so far.
So I've been on two different cruise lines. I've been on Carnival and Royal, and I enjoy both of them. But I think Virgin took the cake for me. I think the selling point for me was the no kids. I've never been on a cruise, obviously, with no kids, and it really does make a difference. Not that I hate children. I love kids. Some of them. But I feel like...
I mean, we have one of our own, so we really do have to love them.
Yeah. But I feel like it allows adults to let their hair down and just be 100% authentically themselves. Because you can't be who you really are in front of your kids. You know what I mean? So... that made a big difference, but this by far was probably the best experience that I had on a cruise.
Okay. Well, this would have been my absolute first cruise experience. It was also great to do it with Brian, of course, it being my first. Concern for me going into it is that a long time ago, at least, it hadn't been tested of late. I used to get seasick. So I was kind of weary about that. And just in general, I had never done a cruise before, so I didn't know what to expect. So you're going to get maybe two different perspectives when it is that we are going through these things. But as he would have started with just now, Virgin Voyages is an adult-only cruise. Yes, adult only, which is one of their major selling points. The one that we were on, which is the Scarlet Lady, would have been their flagship boat for all of the cruises that it is that they're doing. It has about 1,400 rooms, a little over 1,400 rooms, which was 16 decks? I think it made it into 16 decks.
Yes. Was there rooms on the 16th deck?
No, there wasn't rooms on the 16th deck, but so just the boat in general.
Yeah, it went up to 16 decks and there was 15 decks of rooms. Well, between 8 and 15. Well, actually 5. Yeah. So...
It goes even lower than that.
Really? For regular guests.
Yeah, so they have rooms going all the way down because then, of course, you do have staff quarters as well.
Well, yeah, I know about the staff quarters being underneath the boat, but I didn't know that the guests went below 5. Yeah, they would have had to. Oh my God.
Yeah,
there's a lot of rooms.
Yeah, a lot of rooms, guys. More than 1,400, as we said. The cruise leg that we were on was one of their Fire Sunset cruise.
Yeah.
Which it would have been leaving from Miami, going to Key West, stopping off in the Bimini, Bahamas, and then going back to Miami. We only did 4 nights, which at first, considering it was our first trip together, we wanted to do a shorter trip just to kind of test the waters. You see that there?
You know me. I don't mind a longer cruise, but I was afraid for Alec because, like he said, he'd never been on a boat. So, well, he's been on a boat, but he's never been on a cruise. So I really wasn't sure how he was going to like it.
Yeah. So we were just testing it out. That's why we went for the shorter trip.
Yeah.
We can now talk about the rooms.
Okay. So there's several different types of rooms. You have the Insider. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the Insider, which is their basic room. You'd have no view with that room. Then the next one would have been the inside view. So you would have had a little window where it is that you can actually still see the sea while it is that you're sailing.
Yeah, so that one's called the Sea View. And then after the Sea View, you have the Sea Terrace. That's the one that we stayed in. So the sea view and the sea terrace are pretty much the same layout. It's just the sea terrace has a balcony with the famous red hammock that Alec definitely did enjoy.
Then moving up from there, you would have been going to Rockstar status.
Yes.
So if you are that VIP that has a little bit of money, a little bit of extra coin, then you can really take advantage of their premium suites, which they have labeled their Rockstar suite because they treat you like a rock star on Virgin Voyages.
That's the first level of suites. And then after that, you have the Mega Rockstar suite. And that one is like, I think, 1,500 square foot room suite. It's sick.
So it is the presidential suite. So think presidential suite of the sea.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Mega Rockstar suite is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just a little bit more about our room too. And I think this is something that's consistent across all the rooms on the Virgin Voyages cruise. They are huge on technology.
Yeah.
So everything is controlled by a tablet in the room, and you had little fancy things that you could do. So you could have activated the lights to fit different moods. Every time that you walk into the room, the curtains open.
Yeah.
And you're able to control all of that from the tablet. You don't have to get up out of bed at all.
Yeah, everything is controlled. Even room service is controlled from the tablet. So if you get home from the club at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want something for room service, just go on a tablet and it's all right there.
Is there anything about the room that you didn't like, and how would you compare it to rooms on other cruises that you've been on?
So the only thing that I didn't necessarily like was the size of the bathroom. The bathroom was pretty tight quarters. But I think at the last cruise that I went on was the Carnival Breeze. The bathroom wasn't it was laid out different. So it wasn't that it was much bigger, but the toilet wasn't directly in front of the shower. And the shower felt like it had a little bit more space. I wasn't bumping into the walls, but that could have also been the alcohol making me do that. So yeah, the bathroom would probably be my gripe. What about you?
Yeah, I think that considering the space that they had in terms of the room, they really did utilize the space as much as they could in a very efficient way. Again, same for me. I think the only thing I would have had a problem with the room was the bathroom. The shower was definitely a tight squeeze, and considering most people that would have been going on this cruise would have been going with a partner or a friend, to think about sharing that bathroom space with 2 people, yeah, extremely tight squeeze. When I tell you, like sardines in a tin, it felt kind of like that. But other than that, the stay in the room for me was very good.
Yeah, I mean, even with the bathroom being as tight as it was, there were features in there that I hadn't seen in any other like cruise that I've been on. The vanity for the where the sink is, that was actually pretty large for it to have been a cruise. You know what I mean? For it to be a ship. And then the shower, the waterfall shower head, that was pretty dope too.
Okay. And then they also had makeup towels there every day. Yeah. So if it is that you're somebody that wears makeup, then you can take advantage of that too. Outside of their pristine white towels, they have towels dedicated for makeup to take off the filth of the day every day. So I thought that was a cool addition too. So tell me a little bit about our embarkation process. Was it smooth? Was it seamless?
That was probably the quickest and seamless embarkation that I've experienced ever. So there was really no line. Like I thought when we first walked up, we thought we were gonna have to wait in a long line. But all we had to do was check our bags and we walked straight in.
Because just to give you a little bit of backstory, they assign a time for you to come in to check in.
You pick a time.
Okay.
Yeah, they give you a selection of times where you can choose to go in, whether earlier or later. You got to get in early so you can get on the boat early, so you can pick a quick early time. But they do allow you to pick your time to come.
Yeah, and so we actually had VIP check-in, so they gave us a time frame between 1:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. Yeah. So we did have a window. We got there for 1:30, and when we did, literally there was maybe different handfuls of people in different spots, but they had several attendants there to collect the bags or tag your bags, which took us 3 minutes.
If so long, like it was very quick.
Leading up to the cruise, they also send you information for you to be able to check in via the app. So that's where we kind of did have a different experience. So he was able to check in prior to our cruise easily. Everything was fine. He was able to submit his documents online. In my case now, it was a little bit different. So those of you who don't know, I currently travel on a travel permit here in the US. So I don't have a green card, where the app asks specifically for a US passport or a green card. So my document, they did not accept via the app. So when we were there, they do have one line for people who have pre-checked, and then they have another line for people who may have questions or concerns, which are basically for anybody who was not able to complete the process online. Going through that line, it also did not take very long. It maybe stretched our time between 5 and 10 minutes, but the process was also very seamless. For those of you who may be traveling on the same kind of document that I'm traveling on, all it is that they asked me for was the travel document by itself, the passport, as well as they did ask for the letter that came with my travel document. So luckily I bring copies of that whenever it is that I'm traveling. But other than that, check-in was seamless, went through the security checkpoints. So they did have a list of things that you weren't able to carry on the cruise with you. So you weren't allowed to carry any plastic bottles, because Virgin Voyages is very eco-friendly. Not able to bring your own alcohol. So you are to leave that as well. And they, of course, did have another list of things when it came to safety. So certain sharp objects, no weapons, the works. Yeah. So what else about your intro to Virgin Voyages? Because after the security screening, we would have gone straight onto the boat.
Yeah.
So now you can actually talk about your official Scarlet Lady experience. Tell
So-
me about your actual welcome onto the boat.
Okay, so the welcome was actually pretty nice. It was very comparable to the other welcomes. The crew is a lot more friendly, and they're a lot more down to earth, and it's also very inclusive. Like, there's different walks of life that work on that boat. You know what I mean? They just seem so inviting. So it was very different in that regard. In terms of the ship, you want me to get into that? Like how I felt the ship looked when I walked on board?
Yeah, why not?
So like I said, my last cruise was the Carnival Breeze. Big difference. I feel like the Carnival Breeze was very open. It was big. It was more glitz, more glam. It was more wow. You know what I mean? It was more of a wow factor than walking.
So what is it though that you think was missing? Because when you say open, for those of us who haven't had that experience, describe what was missing from that first level that you saw on the Virgin Voyages cruise.
So when we walked in, so I guess for a Carnival, when you walk in on like maybe the same deck. Let's just say deck 7. But from deck 7, you have a view of all the decks as soon as you walk in. So the ceilings are up there. It just seems like it's so big. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you walk into, I guess, any of the Virgin boats, it's not that. It's not. It doesn't give you that wow factor. Things are just kind of hidden a little bit. You know what I mean? So that was probably, I wouldn't say a downside, but that it was a little bit of a letdown.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't wowed like when I walked in, but I was like, oh, this is cute.
Okay, well, for me, it was, as he said, extremely inviting. Everybody was extremely friendly. They definitely get you hyped. You have people with megaphones and they're dancing out by the front and telling everybody, like, you're leaving all your problems right here when you're about to enter this boat. So for me, the welcome was great. Again, with the layout, this was something that I identified otherwise, is as soon as you enter the boat, everybody is about to try and find their room. So you have like 2 or 3 elevators there. And because you have hundreds of people entering this boat at the same time. Everybody is crowded by the elevator trying to get on.
Yeah.
So that first experience was like everybody was kind of jammed in the same area. I guess if it were more open, like your experience with Carnival, then perhaps that may not have happened.
Yeah.
And of course, for first-time cruisers like me, I don't know if there's another area for elevators or if there's an area for stairs that it is that I would have been able to take advantage of. So that part was, I guess, for me, a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, it was chaotic, and like you said, everybody's trying to get to their room so they can change and get ready to go to the pool. So waiting on an elevator was a long time, and it was 6 elevators in that one section, but that was in the back of the boat. I think there was other elevators on the whole opposite side of the boat. There was none anywhere else.
But everybody enters from this one point.
Yeah.
So it spits you out and everybody is there.
Yeah. So even if you're first walking out, you don't know to go find other elevators. That's what you see. That's what you're going to get on. So yeah, that was a downside.
Yeah. Other than that, once we got to our rooms, everything got easy from there. Our bags were by our room door within 30 minutes of us walking on the boat. So that was excellent. We never had any problems with that. From there, the first thing that we were advised to do is to, if you hadn't already, was to book whatever excursions that it is that you're looking to do and make whatever reservations that you would have wanted to have over the course of the trip. So we did go to Sailor Services to do that. I believe to do the reservations for the restaurants, they're going to send you to the app, or you can go to one of the receptionists by one of their marquee restaurants, which is what we did, and we were able to book or food reservations at least for the rest of our trip. Yeah. On that first day, Sailor Services is a long line.
Packed. Oh my gosh. Packed. Yeah. That was probably another one of the downsides. It wasn't a lot of help there. And then the one lady that we did have, she was a little snippy. That was just the one time though. Other than that, everybody else is great.
I can imagine that, like, for them, the first day is the most chaotic one too. So I can imagine that they're overwhelmed. So we'll give them that part.
I won't. Customer service is huge, and don't get me wrong, everybody else had great customer service. It was just that one situation where she was extremely short, and it made me not want to ask any more questions. But other than that, it was amazing. So that one bad apple didn't spoil my bunch. But yeah.
Okay. Well, in terms of amenities, because we also did go to Sailor Services to inquire about the amenities, we upgraded our Wi-Fi. So Virgin Voyages does offer free Wi-Fi throughout the trip when it is that you're there. However, it is limited. So if it is that you want to make calls or you want to be able to stream your own videos and be posting on social media, which I'm sure most people would want to be doing real time, then you do have to upgrade your internet service, which I think was $40 when it is that we were there.
Yeah, so I think originally it's $50.
But it's $40 on the first day.
Yeah, at least it was for us, because I've seen other videos where it was $50 the first day. So either way, 50 or 40, that's not bad at all, because I've been on other cruises where it's $150 to have internet for the whole time, and it's slow, and it doesn't really work that well. This internet was amazing. It worked the entire time. There were no glitches. Like, I had no issues with the Wi-Fi.
They said that you're allowed to have 2 devices on one account at the same time.
We had 3.
Yeah, we had 3 devices, because we had the laptop as well as both our phones attached, and neither of us had problems throughout the entire trip.
Yeah.
So if they told you to, try it first before you spend the extra money to get a whole nother internet package.
Yeah.
So just to tell you a little bit about how things work on Virgin Voyages as well. So of course, you're not paying anything with your actual card. What it is that you're buying is their onboard currency, which is referred to as sailor loot.
I still have my band.
I still have my band too.
We should have got it.
Yes, we should have. So when it is that you are going on the boat, they give you a band, which is your access band for everything.
Mm-hmm.
That band gives you access to your room, as well as whatever money it is that you've put or bought, any sailor loot that you've bought. All that information is stored on your band. Whenever it is that you go to get drinks, anything like that, they scan the band, and you also scan the band to go into your room. Yeah, so sailor loot, you can use it whether it is to book your excursions, you can use it when it is that you're getting drinks, and you can use it to make any on-boat purchase. Yeah. So, talking about purchases now, because you may have heard me talk about purchase drinks. Mm-hmm. So I know that this is definitely one of the things that is different between Virgin Voyages and other cruises as well. Yeah. Other cruises have drink packages. Yeah. Virgin Voyages does not.
No, they don't. They have, like you said, sailor loot. But with the sailor loot, they actually, they have deals. So if you book a cruise, they'll give you an additional 300 if you add 300 to your account. So that's a total of 600. So they'll double whatever it is, the 300 that you put on for your sailor loot, I guess. So, and the drinks are actually very affordable. They're not expensive at all.
For any of the drinks that we got, they ranged, I would say, between $6 and maybe maximum $13. Mm-hmm. And for those that were even above $10, they were like premium or signature drinks. Yeah. So in terms of the cost, it really isn't bad. Mm-mm. In total, we had $800 sailor loot that we were utilizing between us both. And that was able to cover our trips, our excursions, I should say, all our drinks, internet, and it still left over $28. $28 at the end of the trip. So we spent less than $400 each, and that's doing an excursion in each stop, as well as drinks for the entirety of the 4 nights, 5 days that we're there.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was. All right, so I know with the welcome, they also have a party on the first day, or a welcome ceremony on the first day. Mm-hmm. We missed the welcome ceremony.
Yeah, guys, it was hot, and I needed to take a shower. So we definitely did miss the kickoff or the send-off party, but we did go to Richard's Rooftop before we left. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were able to get our complimentary Moet before we did take off. Is it called take off? I'm a flight attendant, so I'm used to saying take off. But is it?
So well, you can tell us in the comments if it's not take off for more experienced cruisers. Yeah. But just so you know what Richard's Rooftop is, Richard's Rooftop normally is the lounge, which is for
sweet rock stars.
Yeah, so. Rock stars. So those people who do have that rock star status, who would be staying in whether the mega rock star or the regular rock star suite.
Yeah, they get access to that section of the boat.
Yeah, so there are two different things. So they have a separate pool, which is for them, as well as they do have a bar, which I think also does offer light bites on that side. But they have tanning beds, and their own set of servers, and they have, I think, all-day champagne service during a certain time.
Yeah. It's a happy hour, like 5 to 7 type time. We went once.
Yeah, we went once our entire time there. What I would say about Richard's Rooftop is that if you're looking for time away from everybody else, then that's a perfect place to be. I think for us, we when we were out of the room, we wanted to be in the excitement. Yeah. So that's the reason why we were only at Richard's Rooftop the one time.
Yeah, I feel like if we had more time on the boat, I probably would have taken advantage of Richard's Rooftop a little more. Like if we had more sea days, then
more downtime.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, let's talk about the entertainment and the things to do on the boat.
Okay, all right. Where do you want to start?
So the first night they had a pajama party.
Yes.
So I think that's the first thing, and I believe they have this on all their cruises. They do have a pajama party on all their cruises to kick it off.
That was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting what it was. It really felt like real like house party to me. You know what I mean? The music that they played, everybody's in their PJs. Nobody's just standing around, like everybody's dancing. It was a really good time.
And I think the music at the pajama party in particular, it was a wide variety of music, and I think the DJ really catered to the crowd that was there. So that DJ really was able to read the crowd and play the music accordingly.
Yeah. The Scarlet Night Party.
Scarlet Night Party, that is what most people look forward to on any Virgin cruise that it is that you're doing, and I can definitely see why. They force you to go to that party too.
They force you to go. They close everything else down. What time was the party? 10 or 9?
I think it was 10. But like between 9 and 10, you kind of started seeing everything kind of shut down.
Yep. So you have no other thing. Either you go back to your room
or you
go to the top,
to
the top deck. And a lot of us went to the top deck. And when I tell you we partied, it was so good. It was so much fun. So much fun. So that's something that's different from a different cruise. So most cruises have like a captain's dinner where you get dressed up to go to the captain's dinner. You wear your suit or tux with a tie and all of this stuff. Is very kind of stuffy. Now that I've been on Virgin. Virgin has something called Scarlet Night, which we're telling you about, where you wear red. And you just go to the top deck and you all party all night. So that's the equivalent to the captain's dinner. So I like that better. That was a lot more fun.
And then you have all the staff there. They're performing and then they're dancing and pulling people out of the crowd. So everybody in their clothes is like jumping into the pool as well. So it does get wild, and you can see people really just, if you came on and you're trying to be proper and you were like weary about getting involved and socializing with people, I think Scarlet Night really, if you haven't already by then, is a perfect way to loosen up. Yeah, so I definitely love that experience. I think there were 2 other parties that we went to while it is that we were there. So there was one that was 70s themed. I believe that they do change this around depending on how long the cruises are. But our third party was a 70s themed party. That one was okay.
Yeah. It got better once everybody left.
Because the club was hot. So I believe that the Manor, which is their onboard club, that's where the 70s party was. Scarlet Nights was on the top deck, so it's very breezy and airy up there. The pajama party was also on a deck, so open air. But the Manor, extremely hot. For the amount of people that were in there, I think that was one of the more difficult things for us to manage, was the heat. So when people did leave, it really did get better. I also feel like we could have gotten a break from it just playing strictly 70s music. They could have incorporated some more modern music in there so that everybody could have also had a good time, regardless of age.
Yeah, I feel like, because I think it was a decades party. Or was it 70s?
It was 70s.
Okay. Well, so many of the new music is biting from the 70s. So I feel like the DJ could have definitely incorporated some of today's music into that party. You know what I mean? Like just mash it up a little bit. But I still had a good time regardless. But yeah, it was very hot in there.
And then the last party, which I'm guessing would have been our send-off, on our final night, you could kind of tell that everybody knew it was the end of the cruise. So everybody was just trying to get drinks in. Everybody was trying to finish their tab.
Yeah.
It wasn't as full that night, and I actually enjoyed that a whole lot more. But again, that was in the Manor. If there are too many people in there, it is going to be hot. So be prepared for that. That's one thing you should definitely bring if you never thought about bringing it, is those little portable fans. Brian had his, and every time somebody saw him, they're like, oh, damn, that would have been a good idea.
I can't go anywhere without that fan, especially in today's heat, because I will be miserable.
So we covered nightlife there. Let's talk a little bit about the activities that they have, or the things that you can do on the boat in the day.
So we have
So first off, just so you guys know, when it's in your room, they're gonna give you a layout of everything. So now that we have nightlife covered, let's talk a little bit about the activities that you can do on the boat during the day, as well as a little bit about the days when it is that we stop off. So just straight out the gate, just so you know, they do have a full list of activities that you can do ranging from morning to evening every single day on the boat. In the app is going to be your best friend while it is that you're on the boat. You can actually select the things that you want to do and it will create a timetable or a schedule for you if you're that kind of person where you really want to have everything regimented.
Yeah.
Even if it is that it's not a paid experience, because you do have some experiences that are paid, which I'll talk to you about in a second, and then you also have some free experiences. All of them do have caps in terms of the amount of people that can participate, so you do have to go into the app to book these things. However, if you go on and you see that it's not available or it's sold out, you can still appear at the venue at the time. And if there are spaces available within 10 minutes of the start time, then they start letting in their standby list. Yeah.
One thing about the app, it does not work off the boat. Once you leave the boat, you leave the Virgin Wi-Fi, that app will not let you on. So that's one of the downsides for sure. Because if you want to set up a reservation or even look at certain things on the app, you can't do it if you're not on the boat.
So you just need to be very aware of your time whenever it is that you have those port days and you hop off the boat. But they had a wide range of activities. In the morning, they tend to do many fitness related things. So they have yoga sessions. They had an 80s workout that you could have done. They had a boy band dance class. So they do many fun activities. They also had like a private karaoke room. So you could actually go in and book karaoke for just you and a friend in a soundproof room where you don't have to worry about other people. But I must say, I think for the nighttime activities, karaoke was actually one of the more fun things or the impromptu things that we attended. That was extremely fun. So it's a good way to meet people and to see people at their wildest.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. The lady who did WAP. Yeah, that was amazing.
And we just dubbed her the WAP girl after. So every time we saw her after that,
hey,
like, there's a WAP girl.
Oh my gosh, that's probably so bad when you think about what it means. The WAP girl. Okay.
Yeah, but they definitely did have a wide range of activities that I feel like catered to everybody. And there's something for you there, no matter your age or what it is that you're interested in. They have some things that have high intensity and some things that are very relaxed. Yeah. So outside of that, if you're not interested in doing activities, there still is something there for you. Of course, they do have different pools on deck. One thing that I noticed is that they have like their main pool, but then they also had very small ones at different points on the boat. Yeah.
And even the main pool is a small pool. Like when you look at an aerial shot, most of the pool is like standing room only. And then there's like a little square cut out, which is the deeper part.
Yeah, so the pool area to me is more like it's almost another version of a party deck.
Yeah.
Because the two standing room parts, you notice that dancers use that as a stage in the water. And yeah, it really is a tanning bed area more so than it is a pool area to me. So if I were to change something, I would have hoped that there would have been a bigger pool where it is that you'd have been able to lounge more. But I suppose when it is that people are drinking, which people were doing a lot of by the pool, it is safer to not have too much
People
deep
in the
water.
pool. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Nobody can drown.
So outside of that, they had other fitness areas as well. That's one thing I noticed with this boat is that it definitely encourages you to move around. So they had an area that had different games. It had a basketball court, swing sets,
They
a
had
seesaw,
a track, running track.
They had a running track at the top. And of course, they had the gym. We didn't make it into the gym.
No, we didn't.
But it does look extremely nice.
We walked by it.
Yeah, we walked by the gym and they had a fitness center separate and apart from like the actual workout equipment. So they definitely have covered that really well. So if you're into fitness, then I think you will definitely enjoy the Virgin Voyages cruise. So as we said before, we had 2 stops on ours, which was Key West. So let's talk about Key West and then we'll jump into the Bahamas.
Yeah, Key West, from what I remember, it was a great time. It was a very, very good time. We did the bar crawl excursion. If you go to Key West, do that. Because oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
So just so you know, Key West literally has several bars on every single corner coming out of their port.
Yeah.
Every single corner.
That's what Key West is. Yeah. And we took advantage, full advantage.
So what it is that the bar crawl that we did, it was $70 each, and within 2 or 2.5 hours, you stop at 5 different bars and you have their signature drink. So they have 3 groups running at the same time. So everybody starts at a different bar and then everybody ends at the same one. Yeah, if you needed an experience to loosen you up, this is the one.
That was it.
This is the one. This is where we made our first 2 cruise friends
yeah.
actually. So it really is. And I think for me, I started feeling it 2 drinks in. I don't know at what point.
Neither do I. I have no idea. I could not tell you. I don't know.
I felt like he was okay and then he wasn't okay.
Yeah. I mean, and also if you don't want the signature drinks, they do have well drinks for you, like a vodka and soda or whatever drink you want, they'll make it. So it doesn't have to be the signature drink.
Personally, I feel like if you're there for the experience, you should do it how they laid it out. So I opted to have all the signature drinks that they were offering.
Yeah, me too. And that's probably why I got laid out the way I did. Yeah, I don't drink rum. And all it was rum runners and...
Yeah, we had different kinds of liquor too.
Yeah.
And like mixes of different kinds. But hey, we heard in the comments, people said that's the right way to do it. Because we were saying you shouldn't, but if you want to have a good time...
He said you shouldn't. I said you should. That was the way to do it for sure. I don't have any regrets, man. That was probably my favorite port.
And the thing is that if you aren't up for doing any activity, they have... You can just go there and everything is close enough where it is that you can still bar hop yourself so that you can have a more controlled experience. It also doesn't have to be centered around liquor. They do offer other experiences. So they did have like a bicycle tour that you could have done. And I think that they did have one on foot as well that involved food. So it all depends on you and what it is that you're looking to do. We ended off our day with key lime pie. Yeah, was not one of our highlights for sure. And I think that you saw that. Our next port was Bimini, Bahamas. Yeah, I was excited for this because I love the beach and I know that Bahamas is beautiful. We were supposed to do snorkeling there. So you can do, I think they have more interesting activities to do at the Bimini port. So you could have swam with stingrays, you could have done snorkeling. They also had snorkeling that was by an abandoned ship. So I feel like that would have been interesting. You could have rented wave runners. You also could have rented a golf cart and driven around the city there as well, so that you could also have your own experience. So I thought that they had a wide range of activities. And outside of that, if you go to the Bimini Beach Club, which is dedicated to Virgin for that day, there's so many things that you can do there. They have a pool party that's happening there. And then, of course, you just have the water to enjoy at your own leisure.
Yeah. I don't know that I will go back to the Bimini Beach Club. It was beautiful, don't get me wrong. I would probably go for the pool, if anything, because the way that they have the seats lined up or set up at the beach club, like on the beach, ridiculous. Like they're on top of each other. There's no space between you and the person next to you that you may not even know. So it just wasn't a comfortable experience.
Yeah, so outside of that, though, I think that the water itself, like if you're able to find a space that you're okay with, it definitely, the water, wonderful. It is very picturesque there. The beach club itself is also aesthetically, to me, such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
But just like he said, I maybe would have spent more time by the pool if it is that I were to go back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't think I would spend too much time at the beach club, to be honest. I'll probably go there for an hour and then head back to the boat because we had lunch right before we left. So the lunch that they had there, it was definitely island themed. It definitely was not.
I like that island theme.
Yeah, island themed because I know a little bit about Bahamian cuisine, and you didn't see Bahamian food on the menu, which just based on how they had their layout on the ship, I thought that it would really be specific to the Bahamas in terms of the food, or even just a little bit more Caribbean than it was. So that for me was a little bit of a disappointment. The food itself too, the crew from the boat comes off to do everything at the beach club as well, because we saw many familiar faces there. There was no problem in terms of time. It was very easy to get anything that you needed, whether it be food or drinks. Service time was like clockwork. But the food itself, I think it failed in comparison taste-wise to the food that we had on the boat.
I agree. The only thing that I think was decent was the curry. What's it called? The curry.
They had like a curry chicken, so basically it was a version of a curry chicken.
Yeah.
The portions were small, but it's small plates, so you end up getting a whole lot of things. But yeah, that was.
You can go back for more as much as you want. So, it's all in our vlog. What we ate, I could have definitely saved my appetite and ate on the boat for sure. The food is much better on the boat, so do that. Like if you, eat, taste it, try it out, but definitely save your appetite for the food that's on the boat.
Yeah, maybe it was an off day, or if it is that you plan to spend or you're enjoying the beach club and you just need a quick bite, I guess it works for that. If you need a quick bite so you have energy to just continue doing what you're doing, then that's where it is that I would say get that food. But outside of that, the boat food, let's talk about the food.
Yeah.
Let us talk about the food. Because
Michelin 5-star, man.
Right? The food was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, let me just say that straight out the gate. Virgin Voyages has 20 plus eateries and bars on the ship. They have 6 that are their marquee restaurants, and all of these restaurants have a theme. So it's a themed cuisine. So, for example, you have Gunbei, which is Korean barbecue, Extra Virgin, Italian, The Wake, which is more of
a steakhouse.
Yeah, so it's an upscale steakhouse. Razzle Dazzle, which is
American food.
And it's also their like flagship restaurant. And then there was 2 more.
Pink Agave, which is their Mexican. And
what was the last one?
We did Pink Agave, Razzle Dazzle,
Gunbei. Oh, the test kitchen.
Oh.
The test kitchen. So that's what people who the test kitchen is for those who are into exploring different kinds of food. It exactly as the name says, the test kitchen.
Yeah. Our 2 friends, Allie and Liza, they went to the test kitchen and they told us their experience. And I did not want to experience it.
So, however, I must say for the test kitchen, all the reviews I've heard have either been like that, where it is that it wasn't positive, or it has been overwhelmingly positive because it's such an interesting experience. So I think those people who are really into exploring their food would enjoy the test kitchen. If it is that you have more of a basic Betty kind of palate, stick to what you know.
Yeah.
And they have many restaurants that cater to that.
I feel like if you go to the test kitchen, don't go there hungry. Like, that's just a place it's like an activity. You know what I mean? To serve it as that. Because if you put chocolate on my steak, you know how upset I'm going to be? You put chocolate on a ribeye? So I would probably taste it if I'm not expecting to go there to get hungry or full. To get full. But, yeah, don't do that.
Okay. So as he did mention, we only made it in our 4 days, 4 nights. We only made it to 3 of the restaurants, which were Razzle Dazzle, Gun Bay, and Pink Agave.
Yeah.
My personal favorite was Pink Agave. I enjoyed all the food that I had there. Especially I had duck there. And that's the thing with the food that is here on Virgin Voyages. I feel like when it is that you're doing food for a huge group of people, it tends to be lacking with flavor. It's very easy for it to be overcooked. Everything felt as though it was done to order. And at the same time, it came out so fast. By the time you were halfway through any course, the next one was coming out.
Yeah.
And everything tasted amazing.
Yeah, everything was amazing.
And then for the food is included in the price. And we took full advantage of that. So we ate things that we wouldn't normally have. We ate things, tried things for the first time. And it really felt like an elevated experience compared to what we would normally have.
Yeah.
So the food for me, for sure, hands down, was the highlight of the entire trip for me.
Yeah. They also allow you, like he said, the food is included in the price, but they have extras there. So they have like a tomahawk steak. If I was hungry, I probably would have bought it for an additional $55. Everybody knows how much a tomahawk is. That's like $150 steak. You could have got one for $55. That's unheard of. And every restaurant had that. You know, like little extras that you can pay for. So that's something to look forward to as well.
And I must say that even without the extras, they had so many options. I find that this boat was extremely vegan friendly as well. And just so you know, Razzle Dazzle really is a vegan restaurant that has meat options for meat eaters.
That's the naughty side. Yeah.
So there is truly something that's there for everybody. It caters to people who have gluten problems, people who are vegan.
Yeah, like Lick Me Till I Scream. Love the name. They have like non-dairy
ice cream,
like a different flavor every day.
For you to be able to try out.
Yeah, and if I had known that, I would have gone there every day because each one that I had, because I'm lactose intolerant, was amazing.
And outside of that, if you're not going to one of the marquee restaurants, they do have other places where it is that you can eat, where you can just pop in and get something to go. Deck 15, I believe, is where they had most of the other restaurants that you could have chosen from. They just dub it the galley, and the galley is made of several different restaurants that you're able to get different things throughout the day. This was one of the confusing points for me, which was the opening and closing times of some of these places.
Yeah.
So, for example, the taco place, I think we only got there one time when it was actually open.
And it was in the morning.
Yeah, so
it's open from like
8 until maybe 11:30 or 12.
Who eating tacos at, you know what I mean? Like
at that time of the
that
morning.
time.
And then their ramen place was also similar hours. They had a sandwich place there that was also similar hours. But outside of that, the galley does serve like a different array of food each day, which was very interesting because the food that they had each day tasted very good.
I know, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't go the first day. The first day we went to Gun Bay, didn't make it. We had to go to Razzle Dazzle, but they had fried chicken.
And it looked so good.
Like they have different, what is the cultural things? Because like one day they had butter chicken, which is Thai. They had fried chicken with macaroni and cheese and something else that looked amazing. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try that. Gone.
Yeah, so you thought that you'd see the same thing there every day at just that one specific place, and each day that would rotate. But they did have things that you'd pretty much see the same menu every day, which was like their burger bar, their noodle bar, the breakfast place, which is Diner and Dash. So it definitely did have things that you could go and you know exactly what it is that you're getting and you know exactly what to expect. One thing that was very interesting though, that it wasn't buffet style. So you had to sit down, and they had these little flags on the table that you could pop up, and when you pop it up, then somebody would come to you. The fat boy inside of me was a little disappointed at first because I didn't want anybody policing what it is that I was eating. And if I wanted to mix and match certain things, I wanted to be able to do that. So I was actually surprised that I had no issue doing that. That you were able to order from all the menus with the one person that came to you. They came really quickly and the food came back really quickly as well. And I think one thing I really did appreciate about the system being like that, you didn't have to stand up waiting in any lines. It was very organized. It was also, to me, more sanitary. You didn't have to think about who was touching what because it was in a very controlled environment. And outside of that, I find that when things are in warmers, they tend to be overcooked. And that's why buffet food isn't necessarily good all the time. So I respect the way that they did it. And I'm happy that it works. Their process works out well.
Yeah, I don't know if other cruises are doing this since COVID. Like this might be something that everybody should adapt to because it's much more sanitary that way. Yeah, I loved it.
Okay. What was your favorite thing that you had on the boat, food wise?
Food wise, probably the pizza.
The pizza?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love the pizza. Their burgers were good too. Basic Betty, I guess. But I preferred the galley over any of the other restaurants. Don't get me wrong, the food at the other restaurants was amazing. But there was more variety at the galley, I felt like. Every day I got something different, like the butter chicken, the burger whenever I wanted it, the breakfast whenever I wanted it. Like the accessibility was just easier for me. Because having to go and get dressed to sit down in a restaurant, which you probably didn't have to, but
it was all a part of the experience.
Yeah, I did it, and I'm happy I did it, but I like the galley.
Okay, fair enough. What I will say as well with the food though is that only one of those places on the entire ship is 24 hours, which is Diner and Dash, which for the most part gives breakfast items. So that's the only 24-hour place that you have. However, if it is that you do want food in the wee hours of the night, because most places close by 2 a.m., if you're in your room, you can order room service at any time of the day. And their room service does have a pretty extensive menu, I find, with what they offer at that time of the morning. You could have gotten like bolognese. You could have gotten steak at that time if you wanted it.
And I did.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
I did.
4 a.m. in the morning.
I did.
And they had other things like soup and stuff like that if you needed to cure a little bit or trying to prevent a hangover. You could also get that at that time. So I did appreciate that. Room service does come at an extra cost. It costs $7, but that's regardless of how much food you order.
So order everything on the menu. Pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like this is coming towards the end of our experience. What would you say were your highlights, your pros and cons? And then we can end off by rating out of 5 ships. How many would you give it?
Okay. Pros. The Embarkation was definitely a pro. It was very quick. It was seamless. It's so much more organized than any other cruise line that I've been on. The food was a pro. The atmosphere was a pro. Just being there, the service, amazing. A con is the layout of the ship. I feel like the way that things are placed in the ship is very hard to find. I don't like that. And I also don't like the fact that all of the boats are the same. That bothers me. Because it's like if I want to go, typically when you like a cruise line, you want to say, hey, I'm going to try this boat. Or I want to go on this boat because it's most of the time different activities. Not Virgin. Everything is the exact same from restaurants to whatever. But I think doing more of my research, I see that they change everything in those restaurants all the time. So it's a different experience every time you go. So I guess that's more of a pro con for me. What about you?
For me, inclusivity, straight out the gate, even in their signage, You can see silhouettes of drag queens, silhouettes of gay couples. So I really appreciated how inclusive it was, and that reigned true straight throughout the experience. They were extremely friendly. The service for me was great. The food, as I said before, such a positive, such a positive. Love the fact that it is adults only, because sometimes you really do just want to truly get away, and you don't want to be somebody's drunk auntie or uncle on the trip.
Yeah.
You know? So I definitely appreciated that as well. As a first-time cruiser, I'll tack on to something that he said, which was the layout of the boat. I find that some things really felt like they were tucked away. We're there for 4 nights and we still feel like we haven't seen everything that was on the boat. So that was a con for me. I was a little bit overwhelmed my first or second day. But outside of that, I feel like all the range of activities that they had were amazing. And I would definitely do it again.
100%. Another con, just my last one. I didn't like that they closed everything so early. I feel like as adults, we should have been able to party all night if we wanted to. So yeah, that was something I didn't necessarily understand, because I know on other boats, the cruise, like the parties last 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of disappointing, but I guess it gives you room to do whatever else you want to do outside of that. So I guess that makes sense.
It's the party for the other party.
Yeah, yeah. They close it down for the after party, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but overall, honestly, I don't have another cruise to compare this to, but I'm an avid traveler. And comparing it to my other experiences, I really learned via this cruise why people enjoy cruising as opposed to going to a resort or anything like that. I would 100% do this again, and I would give Virgin Voyages a strong 4 out of 5 ships.
Okay. All right. Even with all of my gripes and all of my, not even all, the cons that I did give, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 ships. I have to. Just based off my experience on the other boats. When I think about my experience on Virgin, I still get excited. I look at Virgin every day. Like, there's not a day. Every day that we're home, we look at a different Virgin video. And we're like, oh, we should have did this, or we can do this next time. Because I already put down on my next Virgin cruise. That's how much I liked it. I never do stuff like that. So,
and in me giving the 4, honestly, it's giving space to have a different experience the next time, because I'll definitely go into my next experience more educated, and I think I'll have a better time because of that. So it's not that I didn't have a good time. I had an excellent time. I just know that the next time it's gonna be a 5.
yeah.
But on that note, if anybody is interested in booking a Virgin cruise, we're going to leave a link down below, which is just to their general offers page, because they do have several offers running at different times during the year. So yeah, why not take advantage of one of those? If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you had any questions, any comments, leave them down below and we'll try to get to you as best as possible. Please share the video, especially for somebody who you know you want to go on a cruise with. And if you haven't already, please do what?
Subscribe.
All right, guys.